There are so many things we can do on YouTube to really transform our online business. And ultimately, what I am super excited today is we're going to really strategize with the channel to leverage every monetization outlet that we possibly can, because I truly do believe that this channel right here that we're going to do a strategy for can 10x their business overnight. It doesn't take too much when you actually understand what you're actually doing, the value you're bringing, and ultimately how to convert that value where someone wants to pull out their credit card and pay for more and ultimately get a deeper relationship with you. So if you are new to me, my name is Derral Eves. Super excited to be here with you. I've been on YouTube since 2005, and I've generated over 140 billion video views on YouTube. And I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with more the business side than I am the audience development side, because there's so much opportunity we can when we really understand how to leverage the view to convert that view into a fan, and then convert that fan into a community. And that's what it's all about here on YouTube for me, because that's where things are transforming. And as you're aware, AI is coming in full force in the entertainment, and ultimately people are going to look for a more authentic touch, a human touch to this. And so communities are really more important now than ever before when it comes to YouTube. So if you are new to me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, share this video with others. Ultimately, I want to help you be successful on YouTube. That's my whole goal. Now, really excited for today's conversation. I actually have a student of mine who was a gamer and came on, and we helped him on his gaming channel, and is starting to succeed and got a lot of momentum. And then he picked up a hobby, and this hobby turned into a passion, and this passion has turned into content. And really, really excited to have Patrick on. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing?
Hey, Derral, thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm really excited about this for a couple reasons, because I remember when you got the idea for the channel and kind of the journey of it. But would you mind just taking a minute, introducing yourself, and then ultimately sharing your current channel that you're working on and where you're at with that?
Absolutely, yeah. So we met probably, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. So it's been a while. And I was in the gaming world. I did a channel called Patty Cakes Gaming, which has been a lot of fun. But as you said, I kind of picked up I'd say re-engaged with a hobby I had as a kid, which is golf. And I started, I thought I was never going to play again, but my uncle talked me into getting out with him. And it was rough at first, but I got bit by the golf bug, and I was obsessed. And I spent the next several months just looking at every YouTube video out there, trying to get better. And in the process, I reconnected with my golf coach, Ed, who I worked with as a 10-year-old. And we kind of developed a relationship, and I started taking lessons from him. And I was telling him about this gaming YouTube stuff I was doing. And he was like, oh man, that sounds so cool. Cause he had tried YouTube, but he got like, a couple, maybe 100 views on a video. It just didn't get a lot of success with it. And so we kind of brainstormed the idea of doing a channel together. And now 2.5 years later, we have the Golf Sensei, which is our YouTube channel that we both co-own, and it's been doing awesome. And it's been really, really fun to work on.
Yeah, no, this is great. And I love when you're able to take elements that you learn from one niche and roll it over to the other. And ultimately, this channel right here, I think, represents a lot, because like when you're starting to understand passion and you kind of lean into it, then you're saying, okay, what are some fundamental principles that we can do in audience development to really grow the audience, and really get people not only to watch but to engage. Yeah. What would you say, in this journey, were some easy takeaways that you were able to take from the gaming industry and bring it over to golf? And then I want everyone to understand this, and this is really important. When I teach my students, I talk to them about the business side more than anything else. And the reason why a lot of people will look at numbers and they're like, oh man, how is he even doing anything on YouTube? And not see the full aspect. And we're going to kind of unleash that and kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and have a good conversation. But go ahead and share that.
Absolutely. So first of all, to speak to the parallels from gaming, I mean, this goes for every channel, but the just importance of the packaging, the title and the thumbnail, the video idea. I think that so many people just don't appreciate how important that is. And people are getting pretty savvy now, they understand. But I was able to take a lot of the packaging concepts I had for my gaming channel and directly make them into golf things. We use a lot of big bright colors, big text, big images of golf things, and I think that's something that, right out of the gate we did pretty good with. Whereas a lot of other golf channels I see, they have some work to do on the packaging to get people to click in the first place.
Yeah, when I go through it, I always like sort by most popular, and look how simple this 30 years of golf knowledge in 57 minutes. It should be 58 minutes because it's 58 minutes there, but realistically, you have 500,000 views. It's a year old, but the simplicity of that, and would you say that this is still bringing in viewers?
Oh yeah, that's one of our ones that still brings in viewers every day, and people love that video. And we're probably getting close to redoing and making a new one because that one's been such a great one. So
yeah. So the title of this strategy session is how this golf channel can 10x their revenue. And so for me, I always look at revenue when I start because that helps with the long-term sustainability of a channel, and then also the resources that could be applied outside of that. And so what we're going to do is jump into the back end, and Patrick was nice enough to allow us to look in there for your benefit. And I want you to really, as a viewer, really start understanding the concepts that what we're talking about, and then also understanding the parameters that we're dealing with. Now, starting a brand new channel, and anything under a year old is a brand new channel. You're now moving into a new phase, and this phase is more of an established channel from YouTube. If YouTube sees you consistently uploading for a couple years, they start to kick on something, and which is getting you to be more trusted. And then when you're more trusted, guess what happens, Patrick?
More views, more revenue.
You get more revenue, and you can have the same amount of views, and you're gonna get more revenue.
Yeah. So
let's kind of dive in and just take a look at what's happening on the channel itself, and then two, let's go ahead and do this mode right here. Last 7 days. Let's do the last 90 days is what I like to look at more than anything else. And for some reason, it's not updating. So let me see if we got kicked out, because it has a tendency to do that every once in a while, especially when I'm logged into multiple accounts here. Okay, so last 90 days, there's a couple things that I look at. One is understanding kind of trends and knowing where trends go. I know that golf isn't played much when there's snow on the ground. Yeah. And they might be thinking of other activities. And so we could probably go back further than 90 days. But when it starts getting cold, of course, there's going to be less viewership from some type of viewers. And then two, part of the strategy can go from there. But we noticed that you've seen a huge increase off of a video, mm-hmm. and it started to gain momentum, which brought up your baseline. We'll get to that in a second. This is probably the most important thing that I look at is watch time. How goes the momentum of the watch time is how goes the channel and also the revenue. And you can see when you start dipping down in, what people consume, it just kind of goes down. So we can see that is 41% less than the previous period. And that might have to do with a lot of factors. One being, just the seasons of it, and can kind of go from there. But also the viewers that are actually engaging with your content, how often that they actually engage with this type of content. Outside of that, we can look at the revenue, and the revenue is interesting, but we had this peak. Was this surprising to you right here? It looks like you had 5 things golfers wrong. So give us some context here.
We were down in Florida and we filmed a series of 4 videos. That were each like 5 things that golfers do wrong about driver, irons, chipping, and bunkers. And if you asked me before these came out, which one would do the best, I would have said driver for sure. Everyone wants to hit their driver longer and straighter and fix their slice. That's like the surefire thing. So I was actually pretty surprised that the iron one's the one that did great. They've all done well, but the iron one's like 10x the other views. It's done almost 200,000 in just a couple weeks. So it's done really good.
I want to talk about this because this is something that most people would get wrong. But when we break it down and you look at where the views are coming from. So 5 things that golfers did wrong. you know, in hitting the ball, right? So was this the first one in the series, or was this the first?
No, the driver one.
Let's kind of dig into it, because if you remember, it's all about momentum, right? And if you're still and stagnant for a little while, you know, it's about that first takeoff. So believe it or not, this one actually lifted the other videos. Because if you look at when it was released, like how often were you releasing in this strategy?
So these were weekly, and you're right that we had a kind of dormant period before. The one before this did all right, and then this one did really good, and then the iron one went crazy. So you're totally right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, this is the one that started to lift it, right? So you had this. So what YouTube's going to look at more than anything else is, oh, hey, this is appealing to a wider audience. It's actually 2.4 times more views than normal, right? But what do we care about? This right here. Remember, look at the difference between the viewership. So you actually have a pretty loyal audience when it comes to watch time. I think it's some of your longer videos that you're doing and they're engaging on TV. We'll validate that here in a second. But realistically, it's like you're seeing an increase right here. And this is even before that video comes out. So if you look at it, it's on day 5 that it starts to really separate. Well, day 3 to day 5, it starts to separate just from your average that you're getting, right? So you get it up right here. When you release your video on day 7, look at day 8. That's when it takes off. And one of the things that we always look for more than anything else is understanding the relationship of content. So you actually know this because you're a student of mine. You've gone through Channel Jumpstart. You've been in my mastery program. And ultimately, it's like really understanding, okay, if this one's going to gain steam, it's going to lift all the videos. Okay. It is. And we don't know which one it is, but if one goes, it lifts everything. And you can see right here that it's done just that. Now, the misstep that most people think is like, oh, it's going to be suggested videos. And that's not where it is first. Where it comes from is the most active place that people go and engage with content. And that is browse. And that's the YouTube homepage. So when they go to the homepage, if they watch the video prior, guess what shows up? This one right here, right? Okay, so knowing this, you know, it's more about digging deeper into the audience and breaking it down. However, I want to go back to this one right here, and let's go to this one right here. So this is the one that you didn't know. You know, it's like not even in the same stratosphere. I mean, you can't even see like the gray down here. Like the gray looks like the bottom of the line, right?
Yeah.
And so we want to learn from this one, right? And it wasn't that I don't think it wasn't that YouTube was saying this is a better video than the last. What it was you got enough momentum in that first couple videos, and when this one hit, generally I notice it's usually either the second, third, or fourth video in the series that just pops off, and then it elevates it, right? But if you really look at the traffic right now, it's coming from suggested videos 27%. If you go back to the other one, the first one it wasn't that way. It was actually a lower number. And so it's like, oh, okay, it's starting to recommend each other. So this is like 14 times more, you know, more than usual. And this is where a lot of people would focus in on, and I do too, you know, I do too, but ultimately it's not. It's, you know, it's going back a little bit, you know, prior and then prior before. So if we hit this one, remember it was this one first, we did this one next, and then it was hit this one. And now we want to hit this one right here, because this one is the indicator. So this is the true indicator. So when you have something pop off, rarely does it actually pop off the second video just as strong as the first, unless it's a true banger on it. But it's relational, right? It's relational with the things that you're doing. So it's like the 5 things golfers get wrong. You're hitting it all in a sequence of, okay, we're doing drivers, we're doing irons, we're doing, you know, chipping or whatever that is. But the thing that I look at is traffic sources. So this is more in line with the traffic source of the other video. Hey, browse feature was about 67%, and then you know the other one was like, what was it, 27%? This is 24%, and so we want to keep an eye on this. Okay. Now we're going to get nerdy because I can get nerdy with you, Patrick, and I think this will actually be valuable for everybody that's on the call. But this is one that you probably don't know, and I can't wait to talk to you about it.
I'm excited. We'll get nerdy.
So here's the thing. when you start a new channel, like I said, you're in a realm where YouTube doesn't know who you are, and you don't have the consistency of being brand safe or anything like that. So if you were YouTube and you had to give money to creators on that, would you be at the bottom rung? Would you say of the trust value?
Yeah, absolutely. As a brand new channel, absolutely.
Okay. After 2 years, then what happens?
Well, you probably get a little bit more trusted, right?
Oh yeah. YouTube literally has watched you for 2 years and seeing, oh wait, look, they're engaging, they're consistent, and so on. And you might still be at the bottom rung of the trust value. Okay, the trust value and how YouTube actually operates. And I'll move to this so that people can really see. But how YouTube actually operates is when they fire an ad, it's based on the niche itself. So they're saying, hey, we're looking for a certain demographic. We're looking for somebody that's interested in golf. Let's put it out there. And the advertiser will say, hey, I want this type of viewer. And if you have that viewer, then there's that ad that's placed on there. That's how it works. And it's in an auction where the advertiser is competing with somebody else. So they'll say, I want this type of viewer up to this dollar amount. And that's kind of where the bid is. And it can get outbid based on that. Now, this is where I know you can start leaning into. But when you are more well-known in the golf community with the golf brands, guess what they do?
They pay more money.
No, they don't pay more money. They actually will target your channel and they say that I want to advertise on this channel. Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Guess what happens? When that happens in the back end, YouTube takes note and says, oh, wait, brands are now doing this. Guess what? Guess where your quality score like your ad quality score, it goes way up, right? And in golf, believe it or not, there's only a few industries that spend a ton of money in advertising. Your industry is like bombarded, and like the CPMs. I mean, I've worked a little bit with Good and a few others in the premier golf industry, and I've been able to see the CPMs, and I'm still blown away at what they get per thousand when they're in the top tier, right? Like in their top tier, you know what they're getting. I'm blown away. I'm like, man, I need to start a golf channel. That's what I need to do. But it all starts with the visibility. So the first thing that I want you to do is have an active marketing campaign outside of YouTube. And the only reason why we're doing this is because it's going to elevate the awareness of your brand, bring individuality to it, but then too get your name and channel on the radar of the people that are buying, because it's not necessarily the brand that's buying. They have an agency, and there's certain metrics that they look for. One is like who's getting the news and so on and so forth. It's just part of PR. You can get that naturally, but when people know who they are on YouTube, it's like, oh, you're the person in the space, then you're going from there. So let me just give you a name and you tell me if they're known in the space. I'll just give a first name, Rick.
Yep. Rick Shields.
Okay. Hey, guaranteed that most brands will know who Rick Shields is.
Yeah.
And how long has he been on YouTube?
He's like the godfather of it for golf.
He is the godfather of it. Right. And so it's like that's gonna be the first place that they're gonna mark it in. And so his is gonna be the super highest. Like it's not even remotely close to be. Well, I mean, Good's like I think right there for the younger generation. It depends on what demographic you're talking to. And then Bryson's like the kick butt content. He's like actually my favorite content creator on YouTube. I know that seems weird, but I just like I had an idea of what a golf channel could be. I think I even shared it with you because I was like doing some work with Mark Wahlberg, and I'm like, hey, this is what we need to do. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do anything with you. He's like, this is the idea, and he's doing it. And so it's fun to watch. I don't know who Bryson's guy is, but they're crushing it.
Yeah.
But my point is you got to elevate the brand. And so what I would do if it was me is just try to find a PR agency or someone. Don't spend a lot of money on this, but just we got to get into the cycle of writing unique articles on your partner, right? He's been in the industry for quite some time. He's been doing this for quite some time. He's like this hidden gem that you don't know until you know, right? So we need to start elevating that brand, and then getting very strategic. And I always I'm always cautious of the trade-off. So for those that don't know, in any sport, there's like somebody says, "Oh, we really like this person. We're going to give them free product. They'll wear it. They'll use it. They'll be a brand ambassador." Rarely is there any money changed in the early phases. When you get more notable, then there's more money that comes with it, and then that's something that happens. And I would assume that the golf sensei is in that specific category, right? So he has a couple of friends that he works with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the cool thing about it is it's leveraging that too, because if they're doing it, they're wanting to promote, then it's using their promotion. So like for me, I always like to make a video very specific that the brand would love. We actually did this. We started a new YouTube channel for one of the channels that we own, the business side. And in the first video, it was a pretty intense video. It was like 50 some odd minutes. And we had one brand. We didn't even do a brand deal, but we went and hit one brand. And then basically we talked with the marketing department and says, "Hey, look at this channel. Look at what we're doing here. Oh, by the way, we feature your brand." Well, guess what they did with that video?
What's that?
They sent it out to all their target audience, that people that would actually like that video. It's like gearheads that they were sending it out to. So we had all these new viewers that were coming in, but we had the brand's attention. And even though we had brand's attention over on the other one, but they were really interested in this side because of the nature of what we're doing. That looks like it's going to be a heavy six-figure brand deal that we'll be doing with that brand because of that and the notability of what we're doing there. But when you start elevating your trust level in the brand community, but more importantly, getting those advertisers to pick your channel as, "Hey, they have my audience and I want you to advertise in that audience," then you're actually going to see an increase because of the competition, right? Because you basically have someone that's going to always compete with the other the crap money. They'll say, "Hey, well, I'm just going to throw out CPMs, $6 CPM, but we'll go as high as 12, right?" So anytime they're bidding, it's going to keep on going up until they hit that, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so going back to this, we're looking at the momentum there. Then I always like to see what's happening right now on the channel and see where the views are coming from. And you got some strong views coming right out of the gate, right when you released a video, which is good. And it's in, I guess, the putting series, right? So
yeah, this is like our last of the 5 things we made. Just we tried to keep extending that series because it's done really well. So
what are you gonna do once the series is done? Like,
well, I've been trying to figure that. So we've filmed about probably 4 other new videos that I think each have a lot of potential, but they're different from this series. So I've been trying to kind of figure out how to tie them in.
I would make a compilation video and add some new value at the beginning of it, and then put all these videos together so you can get like an hour video out of it. I'd have that probably hit at the end of April.
That's what I was okay. So
just as golf starts raising up, and you can just do this, right? Like 5 things golfers get wrong, in whatever 57 minutes or however long that's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, you could even like just add up all the tips like that, like 25 things golfers get wrong in 57 minutes or so. I like that.
Yeah, something like that. You'll tie it back in with the other one, right?
That's cool.
But ultimately, when I look through, this one's still bringing views, and we can kind of break that down. Okay, so let's go into another area, which is revenue, and see what's happening, collectively over periods of time. And it looks like you've actually crossed a threshold because you didn't get more views. Well, maybe you did. Did you get more views in just as of late than you had previously, or was?
Well, yeah. So it's a common. So February was great for us with this new series. That was
crap.
So
See,
our best one.
Golf, dude, right here. This is like the whole reason why I love golf. Look at this, $33, man.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your
Our,
thoughts.
our February was about as good. Our best months last year were over the summer, like June, July, August, and then it kind of slowed down in September, October, and February is actually like almost as good as our better summer months. It's just like a couple, like maybe 100,000 less views. So we're already kind of catching back up to where our high was last year.
Yeah. Let me go back a little bit further just so that I can prove a point. You can see where that is. So this is your ongoing. You're at $40 right now.
That's awesome.
See that? $40.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you had a 44 in November. So I think your trust factor just went up, just kind of where I'm seeing it right here. Let me just do this so we can get just. I'm going to just go back from March 2024 to March 2025.
One of the other things I hadn't looked at recently, but I know we talked about in the past, was about the preferred ads that we were last summer. We were getting a lot of them, and then it kind of, as the views slowed down, those kind of went away. And then I wouldn't be surprised if this month we have some of them back again for those higher CPMs.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple things. Like if you're firing on TV, you're going to have almost guaranteed ad firing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would bring it up too. Okay. And then too, a lot of golf channels are looking for TV viewership, and so they're prioritizing that as well as a device type. But do you see that difference? So I want you to look at this difference. So that's let's compare it real quick. So you can see the difference because you just elevated it like completely on it. Let's remove the comparison. Do it this way. But yeah, I mean, you're well on the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Exciting.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So you know more than anything else, I look at this revenue first because this is kind of like, oh, okay, here's what what we're doing, and honestly, I think it gives you more confidence to do things. Like when you see, oh, responding really well, yeah, let's do more. But let's break it down by one other thing, and it's just tell me which one's bringing the revenue. And man, this 30 years of wisdom is like, I know it's not bringing a lot of revenue, but it is for how old it is. And then two, when you really, I know this is a different version of it. This is September, but it's still, it's not bad, right?
Yeah. That's one thing I love about this channel compared to my gaming one. It was very non-evergreen, where stuff would get deprecated within a few months. Whereas I feel like every video we keep adding to this channel, it's like we're still getting views on our very first video that we ever made, which has done great. So
yeah. And I think we need to look at where this traffic is coming from. So it's still going on the homepage, man. Look at this. Look at this increase right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, breaking this down, the question is, how do we capitalize this year when it comes to ad revenue? And what did we do last year? Let's see what we did dollar wise. About 51,000. And I look at your low months. So coming into May to October, if we would just raise the views here. So I want you to be very particular on what occurs. So right here, if you notice that's about the same time frame as this year. It might have been shifted a little bit, but it's pretty close where you had something pop off. And I don't know if that's when they start watching the content. I mean, we're gonna need to break that down, but if you really look at it, that's almost identical Let's just do it period over period, and then actually year over year, and we can see that real quick. Yeah, I mean, see right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that peak came up last year. Then now it's here. Let's break that down a little bit, and let's do.
Oh, so that's the video that, yeah, I remember that video doing well. That was the putting one too. Yep.
Okay, so a couple things, Patrick, on this. I'm always mindful of when things start to take off. I mean, you're within the parameter I look for.
Yep.
It's just a little bit later than what it did here, but it's a lot higher. And then I want you to look at the. It's too early on. It's too early on this right here because we're going to see where it goes, where it stabilizes on this one, because this has just barely happened. It's starting to pop off. You're gaining momentum on it.
Yeah.
But we can do this on this channel right here, and that will help you break it down a little bit of where things are going to go. So you kind of brought up your baseline right here. So you're down here. You brought up your baseline from here. Then you just had a couple pops. So what you're going to need to really take off is, and I'm gonna show you this here because this will. I'm sorry. Let me show you this here. Give it a little bit more run rate on it. Is treat this as this right here. Okay.
Yep.
So momentum's coming. So your next video after the series is probably the most important one you can hit. What is that video? Because that's what increased the baseline. And then it's also around the time that people are really engaged in golf.
Yeah.
They're just consuming it. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that happened. So last year, right where that spike was really happening around like day 125 or something, we actually I hired one of my gaming friends to really like help us with packaging and just dial it in. And that was like a huge win for us. And so I think that period between like day 1 and 20 there, we just honestly, our videos weren't that good. Our intros weren't very good. Our thumbnails weren't very good. And I feel like after we really reinvested in getting him better, and that paid off huge for the summer. So I'm hopeful if we just do what we did from the summer on, but starting earlier this year, it'll be awesome for us.
Okay. I just want to get that baseline up as fast as we can, because like I told you, it's all about momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then too, where your CPMs is super high right now, it's like, okay, you got some authority. Even if you did the same amount of views, you'll probably get 25 to 30% more money, if not higher, just because of the relationship between. I mean, you're at $40 where the other one was like at $26, $27 per thousand. You're at 40.
Yeah.
So that's gonna see an increase. You won't see it across the board. There'll be some videos, but let's go ahead and break it down. Excuse me, in a different way. So we're gonna go do device type, and almost half your views, if not more than half of your views, are coming from TV.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just do. I hate when YouTube doesn't give me the data like out of the gate, because they're like, hey, you need to reselect the. So it's not going to give it to me. Let's see if we do it this way. All right. Well, we're not going to get what I wanted on that one. It's one of the things that they'd fix. That'd be awesome. All right, let me do this. Let's see if we can get those numbers. No RPM.
You got some buddies over there.
I know. It just ticks me off when we can't get the data that we're needing. Let's take off TV and let's see if that'll fix it. That fixes it on it. Okay, I want you to pay very close attention to this. So let's go back. Let's see if we can do it 28 days. And I want you to look at the difference between the 28 days. See this? You had $15, $14, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then let's just do the last 7 days, and that should just go up $23. Yeah. And it's going off of your, like this is the one I would do something with irons if it was me.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Because I think if you do just you needed to keep your naming convention, not the what golfers get wrong, but the hitting irons. Mm-hmm. You know, I think is a key, because that will help recommend. But it's also if we can get them to watch this video and the one that is brand new, which is a high likelihood based off of the keyword structure, then you're golden, man. Because then it can even go up even higher on.
Think about like combining our two successful buckets. They're like 30 years of hitting iron hitting
wrong
in certain.
Yeah. I'd say hitting irons wrong in whatever minutes. I'd do that.
Yeah, that could be. We could definitely do that.
Okay, well, the because of that, I mean, you're looking at like different RPMs versus CPMs. The question is on this one, you have a really high RPM, but your CPMs are low. And so what it is revenue per thousand for cost per mil. The cost per mil when you're doing it is like what they are bidding at. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, hey, this is what I'm bidding at. And then your revenue coming in. So you're like, just because it's an hour and 38 minutes, you're getting multiple ads firing, and you probably want to look at where they're firing at, because you might be able to. Well, let me ask you, how do you actually set your ad your ad breaks?
So usually I try to set them at least every minute and a half throughout the whole video. That one is our very first video, so I probably should go back and see where that one's at. But yeah, we have I have a lot of battles with YouTube trying to manually place them, and then it says no, that's a red spot, you can't do that. So yeah.
Have you this is a good one. It keeps on. This is coming through suggested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you holy crap.
I give it opportunities.
I think you're giving it too much of an opportunity.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we could. Well, a lot of our longer ones are like this, but
okay, just for everybody that's watching right now, I just want you to understand, just because you put an ad break there doesn't mean it's going to fire. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what Patrick is doing is trying to say, hey, fire an ad, right? And YouTube will look at the tolerance level of the viewer that's coming in, and what type of device type, and the tolerance of the device type. So
one thing, I mean, with videos like this, they're an hour and a half or 2 hours long. There's just a lot of time. So
why don't you do this? You know how much I love to plan, execute, analyze, and adjust.
Yes.
The plan would be take your longer videos and just have YouTube recommend ad placement. Mm-hmm. And do it for I'd say 28 days, and just see where it is. It's not gonna, like, don't do it to your new videos. Only do the ones that
the
old ones that are there, and the ones that have longer. That they're gonna fire an ad.
Yeah.
Just to see if we can increase the dollar amount that you're actually getting, because you're almost guaranteeing ad fire.
Yeah.
And just see where YouTube recommends it out.
Okay. Sometimes when I've had those ones where it recommended, it had giant blocks where there's no ad, and so that's why I think we started, trying to put more in. But
correct. But I just want to see how often they place it based on the viewership of your new your viewer right
so
now.
you're saying delete all the manual ones on some of the older videos and just see how it does. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See if we get it to fire. Cool. And if it's unchanged, then I'm saying YouTube's just firing it on what it's doing. Yeah. Just they're very sensitive of when ads fire for sure. Yeah. Okay, so part of revenue is understanding your audience, and then let's kind of go into the audience tab, and then let's define how you're making money. So I know you, because I know this is not the only way you're making money. So let's talk about just the pillars that you're doing, and maybe the percentage of money that's coming in on this.
Yeah.
So do you want to give everybody just kind of rundown of that when I'm looking at the audience tab?
Sure, absolutely. So our business is right now is AdSense is a big chunk of it, probably something like 60-70%. But we do have some affiliate programs that a lot of different companies we work with. So those have been great, and those do bring in some additional revenue. And then we have a program we started launching last year where we sell like an online course on how to fix your slice, which is the most common problem that people have with golf. So that's done well. We've probably sold, I don't know, maybe $15,000 or $20,000 worth of that product. Okay. And then we're about to launch a new coaching initiative, which I think will be awesome. A lot of people want to work with Ed directly, but they live in another state, another country, and it's just not really feasible. So we have a new online platform where they can work with Ed directly, and I think that will do really good.
Well, let's kind of break this down real quick. So a couple red flags for being a 2-year-old channel and only having 8% of regular viewers. That means your people are not as loyal to you than to the content. They're more interested in golf, but not you with golf. Because I mean, you'd have a higher, like we need to at least have double digits here. I would say a healthy, look at this would be a third is what I would look at. If I was to skew somewhere, I'd want to skew a little bit heavier on your content, top of the funnel, which would be, your new viewer, and engage with that. This is not too bad though, having 41%, because some of these, this would be easy to convert them over. All we need to do is get them in a sequence of videos. And so this is done by a monthly audience. And so I think as people are coming and engaging more, in season, you're going to see that number rise. But ultimately that's one of those indicators I'm looking at. And then two, this is another thing that I'm concerned with. Is you don't have a lot of new viewers who returned that are hitting. You can see, that we want it super high. The only one that's super high is the one that's just popping off with the new viewer, right? And they're engaging with it. But other than that, I mean, these are all really relatively low. And so what we want to do is look at this as that indicator is like thinking of sequencing of if they watch this video, then they need to watch this video and really kind of weave it in. Yeah. Or if they watched a 1 hour video, what are they going to watch next? They're probably not going to watch anything next. So when they come to YouTube again, what is that experience? And so I'm very sensitive to this. And then two, really, really sensitive to this right here. So you have a lot of people that are watching are not subscribing. So you might want to do some call outs. Not saying that subscribers have anything to do with that outside of loyalty. And we want to flip the switch on it where if they are subscribed, you have a higher probability of showing up in YouTube homepage. And once they can kind of see, oh, this is a person that I'm engaging with or whatever. And then two, one thing I look at is the age group, and Ed's, 60 plus, right? So he's hitting with his demo. Okay. My question would be are there certain videos that respond heavier with 45 or with 35 on up or whatever that may be? If so, let's kind of make note of what those are. Yeah. Because those are probably just one-off videos for people to consume, and your community is more here. And we need to understand where they're watching it too, because I want to know who's watching it, where they're watching it. And you can see 61% in the last 28 days of watching it on TV, and that they're not going to comment as much. And then two, when you break it down on their watch time, you know that they're going to watch it longer on the device, right? So you can see that that if we do the average view duration on this, you know, it's going to be a lot higher on it. Average, let's do view duration, and you can see on TV, well, tablet's pretty high.
That was pretty good too. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. But those are, and I can see tablet them on the course or somewhere where they're watching it and doing it, right?
I've always wondered. I've heard it in golf. Sometimes people like they actually saw this on another channel recently where people are like binge watching a video right before they go play because they're trying to like fix their swing in the parking lot before they go play.
That happens a lot, right? And so we got to understand that. But still, you're at 9. Like if I went back 90 days on it, you're at 9. Let's go back just last year and see what the average view duration is. So you're at 12. So depending on the content, I think the ones that are higher, you know, higher basically duration of the video, you're getting that, and then that's going to equate to more money regardless of what it is. Look at if you take all your revenue, it's like half, more than half of your revenue is just coming from TV, from firing. So. And then mobile not high. I mean, it's not low either, too.
Yeah. Do you think TV is too high of a percentage for us? Like, is that you like that?
No. What I like to do, and this is a good time to really have an in-depth conversation, which is I just want to understand who's watching my content. If I know that they're watching on TV, what do we need to do for all the videos? Make them longer. Yeah. Okay, great. Longer equals. Well, longer with value, not just make it longer, right? But longer makes sure that there's more ads firing. I would say, you know, you have your really long videos that are like an hour, hour and a half. And then I think your mid videos would be 30 to 40 minutes. And then your smaller ones would be from 12 to 20 minutes. And so that's the way I'd probably look at my content, you know, with this type of viewer on it. Okay, let's break this down, because if we know the viewing patterns and we know who they are, then there's a lot more details that we can do. So, who would you say your viewer really is? Like, give me like absolutely, and then really capitalize on why are they coming to your channel?
Yep. So typically it's going to be someone who's, let's say 60 plus. They're either retired already or they're close to retiring. They had a professional job as like an engineer, accountant, business guy, tech guy, some pretty good career where they're now retired and they've got a little bit of money to spend on their hobby and they've got a lot more time all of a sudden. So they're playing with their buddies who are also retired a couple times a week usually. Sometimes they're playing for a little bit of money, not a lot, but like maybe $5 or $10, you know, for a match. And they're just desperately trying to get better. They're struggling with a slice off the tee. They're losing their ball to the right in the woods. They're duffing their iron shots. They can't get them high up in the air because they're a little older and they don't swing real fast anymore. And it's for the first time they might actually be playing better golf score wise, but they're making some consistent mistakes that they really get super frustrated by. And so that's what I think drives into our channel. Like, you know, they're struggling with the shanks, they're slicing their woods, they can't get out of the bunker. And so I think a lot of them find a specific thing and then they like our content and keep watching.
Yeah. So another thing I noticed too, just going through it, I'm very mindful of comments. So just basically any comment that was made, if you responded to it, I just wanted to still see it. This always interests me. I'm 50 former athlete, right? And so when you look at that and see, does that actually occur? You know, and I've seen like 4 of these so far. Yeah, former athlete
too. Yep.
Yeah. You're just
actually that's a big thing. Is a lot of people like, you know, at that stage in your life, golf's really one of the only sports you can still play. So a lot of guys who were great football players, baseball, whatever, they can't really play those like high contact sports anymore. So they get golf's like their competitive out where they can, you know, really challenge their buddies and feel like an athlete again.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little bit differently than we normally do, because if right now we know that ad revenue is going to go up because of the trust factor, we need to this year needs to be your year of visibility to get out more, right? And then establishing your brand. So when someone says, "Oh, Golf Sensei," like we need to do that. So like we need to replace hats or something. Like and I know Ed's wearing a hat that he shouldn't wear. It should be the hat of the channel, right?
Yeah.
So we need to start branding that as well. And I don't care. It's like Golf Sensei or whatever. Like it doesn't need to have the image on it, but it should have at least who he is on it.
Even get our little like logo on a hat would be easy. So
Yeah. But you gotta start branding it, and then two, making sure that you reinforce it. Hey, this is Ed, Golf Sensei here. Just stuff like that. You got to reinforce it as much as you can, and then do that PR approach.
Okay.
And then I think the biggest thing would be is understanding the dynamics of what you're doing next. I want to go into a little bit of detail because I think this is going to 10x your business. But before we do that, I just need to pause here, and I want everyone to understand what we're talking about is really, really important. I think a lot of content creators come onto YouTube and they don't understand the value or the problem that they're delivering. Patrick, you actually said what it was. You says they have a problem. They're looking to get a little bit. They love the sport. They're looking to get a little bit better. They might have some hole in their game or multiple holes in their game. And ultimately, it just really transforms the viewing relationship. So if we could say, look, Ed's my guy, he's helped me, and I've read that he has.
Yeah.
We need to elevate that a little bit. So for me, I think you understand the value proposition of the channel. I don't know if you reinforced it. So like for me, it's getting comments, you're cutting them out and then putting them into your content where it says, hey, a lot of people says this is like something they struggle with. And you're like, boom, 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 boom. And you start saying, the people, they feel like, oh, wait, I just got recognized, oh, I'm not the only one that has this issue. Right. And start to really convert that thought process. This is not just a tutorial video that's helping you. This is a community that's helping you. Right. And it could be as easy as Ed saying, oh, and if you have a different way, just put it in the comments, and saying, oh, I might be the Golf Sensei, but part of this community, we're helping each other. You might see things that we're not really explaining or need to be, need to be elevated, from a community standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what would you say the number one problem would be that people have coming to your channel
in golf? Slicing the ball with their driver, where if they're right-handed, that goes from left to right into the woods and they lose it in the woods or the lake. That's probably 90% of golfers struggle with the slice off the tee. It's really common.
And then what would you say the easy win would be to help someone? Like if they come on, what would be the easiest win for the majority of the viewers?
Well, I mean, if you could ever get someone to hit a draw, they're like, which is the opposite, where it starts right and curves to the left. They are like floored. So, I mean, we have a number of different drills that Ed uses sometimes to get them to swing the opposite way. And that's just, when they first see the ball curving the other way, they're like mesmerized. So yeah, it's a huge, easy win.
Okay. So when I look at approaching content, it's just that. It's like, could we escalate in the video where they can have an easy win and then work their way up? Because like as soon as you win, it doesn't matter what it is. The trust factor increases because they're like, look what Ed was able to help me do. And now I know I can have more trust and more time in these next steps. Because ultimately, you're going to be introducing a new product and a new offering. Let's call it a new offering. And what is the offering again?
So we're launching our own coaching program where Ed can work directly with people online, and so there's also going to be an in-person option. But basically, they get 90 days of transformation where they check in with Ed every single day if they as often as they're able to, but up to every single day. And they can put their swing in this little app that we have and get feedback from Ed and say, oh, you think you're doing the drill right, but there's this little tweak you need to make. And so for 90 days, they'll get that support from Ed.
And how many could you handle all at once?
I mean, we're starting out with probably like 10 students or something like that, but I really think over time we could scale it to 50 or 100 pretty easily. So
Okay.
maybe more, honestly.
Yeah. It's so important when you're doing it is to get as much feedback as you can from any other, any other place, because like if you want this to be long term, the people need to come in and see transformation in the game because they become testimonials of what you're doing, and then two, it becomes here's out of the 10 people, they had these same concerns. We need to maybe adjust maybe our onboarding or the way that we sell this or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's, it should cost more as you work closely with the golf sensei. So like on YouTube, okay, great. It's free. And then basically taking it to the next stage, which is, okay, now you could get these tips. Here's a course, X amount of dollars, maybe $100 or whatever it is. And then private lessons coming in virtual could be what, $2,000, $3,000, whatever that is. And then, coming with an in-person option, it would be a lot higher. And you got to see, what people want. Because if it skews to the in-person, what does that tell you?
Yeah, do more in person. Like you can do bigger group things and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So the group model is like, hey, come, let's do a golf weekend.
Yeah.
And you'll have instruction. We'll have this. We'll have this. We'll have this. And it's just that hands-on. And then two, you're capturing content too for that. Said, hey, this is what we do, and it's showing people. And if they come to that golf weekend and they have their little golf sensei hat on, because that's what we do, right? We're going to brand it. We'll let them choose the style of hat that they want, right? But it's just like, they're coming into the education. They're coming into the space. But let's just break it down. When we look at it, let's just say that you're doing 15, and of the 15, and you say for 90 days, is it always going to be in a 90-day cycle? So you're always
yeah. So the plan is to basically do 90 days, and then there'll be options to continue that afterwards. But the initial offer is basically like a 90-day transfer, which should be enough time to really make some changes. A lot of people in golf, they want to get one lesson and have some miracle change. And the reality is change happens by, just like you always talk about with your stuff, but it's slowly, implementing little tweaks all the time. And then over the course of, a few months, you could really make some big changes.
So if you can get 15 at 2,500, that's $37,500. If there's more that are gravitating, you said, what was I just did 25 because you said it was 2,000, right? And then what was your in-person?
So we'll probably do a little more like 3,500 just because that'll take up more of Ed's time to.
Yeah. But this first group doesn't matter. It's more about getting the data that you need, right? So let's just say that there's 5 that's at that 17,500, and then maybe 10 at the other one. So that'd be, 20,000. So that'd be 37,500. Okay. So that's decent for a 90-day test and see, if you can get the data. The key of it is how to leverage it right. So it like getting that to be an amazing experience and a testimonial so that it can be reframed in video. Say, hey, this is an option. If you're looking for this is what we're able to do. Take a look at the improvement, and the improvement would be showing before and afters of the person.
Well, and that's what I'm so excited about is that with this new program, we'll have their swings every day. So we can literally see from where they started to where they finished the 90 days and have that comparison. So.
Yeah. Okay. So when are you offering this?
We'll start probably next week. We're just finishing up a couple little things.
What is the video coming out?
So our first one, we do have a video that is going to launch it. We're probably going to soft launch it to our email list first, and for people who've already bought our other stuff, and then kind of see how the reception is there, and then kind of based on that, we do have a video we just filmed that will like walk them into that option to like apply to join the program.
I can tell you, not even close. is the order of progression is go people that paid first. So you're smart in doing that because they've already pulled out the credit card. They already have some value there. You're going to need to get them on a webinar or something. So there's that live interaction with it. But the moment that you go to the video release for the main channel, it's literally how to improve your golf games in 90 days. Like the before and after. Like, what do you need to think of when you're actually approaching a 90-day window? What does that actually look like? What's the commitment on your part as the viewer to do it? And then what's the value of working closely with a golf coach? Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't ever want to use golf coach. I want to say golf sensei, just if you're working with a golf sensei, because I think if we could just really lean it in, is Ed really the golf sensei, or we're trying to help them become a golf sensei too, or we have others that can help out that are golf senseis as well, or is it sensei and kind of more of the martial arts type of leadership, right? But ultimately it's helping them engage with that content. So I think if you could start now on start thinking about titling and a structure of videos, I would literally break it down: driving in 90 days. I would do irons in 90 days, your short game in 90 days, like really break down the other stuff just so that you have multiple entry points on it. Does that make sense?
I like that idea. Yeah, we could definitely do that. The one we have right now is like basically breaking, it's 4 different types of golfers and like which ones actually get better. And then so it kind of breaks through the common like practicing habits that people do incorrectly. And then the last one is like the really good student who like actually gets better and so that's kind of the lead into the program. But I like that idea a lot. We could also do that where there's, what is, if you really spent 90 days working on your putting, like how much better could you really get? So.
Okay. So I used to struggle in a couple things in school. One was attention span. Mm-hmm. I had a hard time, keeping my attention. My mind was going a million miles. And one of those areas I actually excelled at which was math. And it was once they just got out of my way and they're like, hey, solve this problem and you can go at your own pace. I was like, okay, there was a whole new, life that kind of went into me. And so let's just use math. Okay. So right now, if you got 25 people in, okay, 25 people in, and you did 4 sessions of 25. Okay. So just that alone. Yeah. Okay. That's 100 people. Okay. Times that out. So we times that out by $2,000, and I'll just do 2,000 because you might have that, whatever. That's $200,000. Okay. So if you really break that down, that's kind of the point that you're able to bring in per year. That's not necessarily 10xing your income. So there's the question of how many people is too many in a group. You're going to need to figure that out pretty dang quick. Yeah. Okay. I found out in Channel Jumpstart, and you're very well aware, I can't go over 55 in a cohort, just not even possible. Mm-hmm. If I do 55, there's too much. I don't give enough attention to. There's too much going on, so that we'd always cap it at that. And so that's kind of the realm from there. Now, you can either go up in the the amount of what you're charging, or you go up in the amount of people that you're doing. Yeah. Getting someone else to help give tips or have a system that makes Ed be able to engage with more people at once is something that you need to look into. Okay. Now, let's just say, what if it, and this is like the idea, because I always like to give you ideas. Okay. And you know me.
I love ideas.
You love ideas, right? So let's just say, what if you did a 2,000 option and you have the 3,500 option, and then there's a $5,000 option?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what the $5,000 option is?
What's that?
It is basically the $3,000 option, but you're doing it as a group. Because like right now, they're coming in, they're doing it, whatever. But if it's like, hey, you're with a weekend and we only have, let's say 8 people, okay, at the $5,000 option. And what you're doing is taking a couple days, instead of doing it all in the 90 days, you're like, okay, we're gonna do the 90 days. And then at the end of it, you're coming into a golf weekend, right? For 5K. Okay, great. They still have to take care of their flights. They have to take care of their housing, right? All you're doing is providing them coming there, and you're getting coaching with the golf sensei. And I don't know if there's a course fee or whatever they need to pay, but basically they get bundles. Okay. Guess what those bundles are, Patrick?
So
it's the free gear that he naturally gets in here. Right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
And then guess what you got to do? You get to go after sponsors and say, hey, look, we got a golf weekend that's coming in. We need this. They're going to give you free product.
Yeah.
Okay. And so here they look at it as you're getting let's say $3,000 or $10,000 worth of golf bundle, but they're paying $5,000 for it. Like, that's a no brainer. So it's just like, oh, okay, that's where it's at. Cause I think the way that you can scale this up is if you can get it where the 2,000 is working with a coach and the sensei. Mm-hmm. So you're doing two. You got two people that are doing it. The coach is helping you, but the sensei is overlooking that model. And then you have the golf weekend with the sensei. It's a no-brainer, man.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
I like that. How many people do you think you would offer that to for would you do the weekend part at the end? Because I feel like that would be kind of cool to.
It is. It's an end.
It's like a graduation.
Always upsell later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then you also then you could fit them into new clubs at the end when they got their swing all grooved, and then you get them clubs that fit their new swing. That's really good. I like that. That's good. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I can say I would test it out with your group and see about the 2,000, 3,500 option and then the $5,000 option. Yeah. See where people gravitate. I'm going to make a prediction that you're not going to get much 3,500 option, but you're going to get the $5,000 option.
Yeah.
And you can limit it. Say, look, we're literally limiting it to 8 people. That's it. Whatever that is. See how fast it out and see what the demand is after that. But this actually is a very powerful way. Okay, because realistically, math, it's like you get 1,000 people to pay you $1,000 a year. That's $1 million. If you get 1,000 people to pay you $1,000 a month, that's $1 million a month. That's $12 million a year. If you get 10,000 people to pay you, $100, that's $1 million. Okay, we need to figure out that component of it. So the in person, I would want to get at close to a $10,000 offering. Mm-hmm. You're not even remotely close there yet.
Yeah,
$10,000 offering. And what is that experience? I need you to imagine what that is. And then as this first group goes in, that people might start here, but would end there. Okay. And, that's where it could be super powerful, because if you can get $10,000, okay, you only need 100 people a year doing that. Okay. And that right there will do what?
Yeah. It's $1 million. Yeah.
That's $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you have $1 million in that rung and then also $1 million in the bottom rung, that's $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you can scale this more, but it's it needs to work its way up. The working way up should be a closer, deeper experience with Ed.
Well, so I was going to ask you about that. So we have a few other coaches Ed has trained who they're the understudies at the club. And so if we have demand for it, we could easily make an option where Ed's still the head honcho, overseeing it, but they're doing the daily check-ins and stuff to, reduce the burden on Ed of having to do the videos all the time. So
that would be your smartest play out of the gate. The people want to work with Ed, and so treat it like Channel Jumpstart. You've been through it, right?
Yeah.
Am I the coach?
Justin, yeah.
Justin's the coach. I'm not even the freaking coach. I literally made it clear. I am not the coach. I'm the mentor. Mm-hmm. That's completely different. I'm going to mentor you. And if you want a closer mentorship, it's the more money that you're engaging is going to get more of my time, because I got to go. I have limited time. And so that's where it's at. So when you really break it down. Now, believe it or not, Justin's not the coach anymore in Channel Jumpstart. Kelton is.
Yeah.
And Kelton is crushing it. In ways he grew up with YouTube, and he has worked with the biggest creators. Everyone wants to hire him. I'm like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I love this. And so he's already gotten gold play buttons and all that other stuff. So it's he knows his craft, right? Now he's in that whole thing. Now Justin comes in between he and I, and it's great. It's great. And I can honestly say, Justin, if you were to put him neck to neck with any YouTube consultant out there, he's probably the top 5 consultants in.
He knows the stuff. Yeah,
he knows his stuff, right? But the reality is, it's like if you start elevating other people, that they realize, oh man, they're bringing value because it's the system.
Yeah,
it's Golf Sensei's system.
Yeah.
And then I would kind of lean into giving them a name, because like generally it's like in martial arts, if he's the sensei, well, what's under the sensei that is helping you? Like elevate that naming convention.
That's a good idea. I should do some research on that, figure out like what the terminology is for the different levels of like the head sensei master and then down from there. So
well, break it down in martial arts. Okay. Everybody comes in as a white belt, and they work their way up in a belt system, and it could be your people are black belts or a 3rd degree black belt or whatever that is before. Like you could figure that out if that's the direction you want to go. There might be a different naming convention. But yeah, that's what I would do. And ultimately, I want you to think of it this way. I would rather have you build out the big package of what you think people want, and you start to validate it.
Yeah.
Because when you're asking for 10K, you better bring your A game.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And then 2, this is a sport that people will spend 6 figures easy.
I've been there in the last probably 5 years, just about. So
yeah. So let's use you as an example. You coming back into the game, would you have spent 10K? With that package, and you've got to say, okay, this is the package that we're looking for. And keep in mind, there's packages bigger than 10K, but I think that's your entry level to work closely with the sensei. And then after that, it's like, oh, you want a private, okay, it's 25K weekend.
Yeah.
You do a couple of those, you can have three other players with you because you're in a foursome, okay, great. And that could be 25K a piece. And you think that people would not pay that? I would say if you build up your brand and your reputation and whatever, there's a lot of people that pay for that.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to really break down on this. And I know that the viewers aren't engaging as much with this conversation because they're just processing it, and they're going to be going back through this a lot. But this is the way I want you to look at this. Okay. And you did when we first started, but I want to go back to this, and I want to go back to analytics, and I just want to go back to your year view. Okay. So there's 2 ways that you're going to increase your ad revenue. Okay. One is consistently putting out good content that ads would fire on, and then getting a higher CPM. And you're coming into the higher CPM right now. Okay. You got 40% more than the other time that you did it. Okay. 40% more. Okay. So you just know that just being consistent with it, you're going to get more. You're going to also do what we talked about, which was getting a good PR strat and elevating it in front of brands. All I care about is a brand play, not to get you more viewers.
What do you think is worth spending for a PR firm? Like
probably like $500,000 a month, just for a little bit of time, or you might do 10K. To just do a push out, and then it kind of goes back down to a $500 revenue. Yeah. But you need to get visibility on having reporters report on you. And I know that it's weird because TV's dying, but your audience still does it. So if like, hey, Golf Sensation, whatever, does X, Y, or Z, that's great.
One thing so Ed's really well connected with the PGA program since he's a PGA member, and they have PRs, and so we might be able to work out something with them where they could help us with that.
Just do that. Just gear that up. Gear that up as much as possible. Okay. Because like right now your revenue is decent. It could be a lot better, but when we're talking a $40 CPM, because that's what some of those were firing on, you don't need to get a lot of views to do it. Yeah. But if we could get enough views, if we can get where you're getting, this is the way I equate to it. If you get like a million video views a month, with the CPMs on that would be pretty massive. This is what you did per year.
Yeah, that's kind of my like internal view goal is to get us to about 1 million a month over the summer. Like I feel like that's pretty achievable with what we did last year.
I think you can do it based on what I'm seeing here. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, can we level that out? Because you're right now at 500,000 video views based off of that. Can you get 1 million a month? Okay, great. With the higher CPMs, you're gonna crush that. Okay, so that's the first stage. The next stage is you can't lose your main revenue source with your other program. So I would test this out, and this is a really, really important thing. So there's people that gave you your email but that didn't buy. You need to be able to offer both packages to them. So it's like, hey, offer them the big package, see how many will just do it just regardless of what it is. And if they don't do it, do a downsell where they can get what you currently have for $10 or whatever that is.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and so you're doing it both ways on it. That's what you're testing out, because you're going to need to get kind of a mid-tier package.
Yeah.
And it could be the, you know, here's the done for you is with the coach, right? But you could get all the other stuff, put it in a course. And it's like, here's your to improve your golf game in 90 days. It could be a course. And it could be without a coach, and it could be, you know, let's say at $900 or $500 or something like that.
So that's exactly what I've had in mind, is to make basically like several products that, like, one that does chipping, one's wedges, one, and then bundle it all. So for like $500 or something, you can get the whole Golf Sensei online do-it-yourself suite, and then that's like works both as a selling point for like Instagram and different places that we might not be able to get the high dollar one, or it's also a downsell for all the people who
it's always a downsell. Yeah, it's always a downsell, and it's those that are like, you don't have enough trust factor. Where you need to go. And it's pretty funny. I'm rewriting the YouTube formula right now, and it's the same version. So it's like it's version 2 of YouTube formula. So the formula is not really changing, but when I've been going in and they're like, oh yeah, you just need to just make it 30% or whatever. Like section 3, I'm rewriting. Section 2, I rewrote everything, and section 3, I'm rewriting everything. So it's like a brand new book with a different lens, and it's based on all this information I've been able to get. I've been doing this for a very long time, and when we first started, it was like, oh, okay, Channel Jumpstart was in its infancy. The whole reason why we did Channel Jumpstart is to get case studies for the book, you know, and that whole thing. But ultimately, we're down to the chapter that I'm writing right now, and it's pretty intense. One of it is really understanding the viewer to a deep degree, and figuring out how to know their entry point. So right now, there's about discoverability, and then trust, and an emotional relationship. And you got good discoverability and new viewers, but the trust factor isn't as high as it needs to be. And then getting that emotional attachment is extremely low on your channel. And so it's really, really breaking that down. And ultimately, when we look at that, it's the trust factor is where they buy, like guaranteed. That's where they buy. And so I've literally tracked every sell that has come into Channel Jumpstart. And believe it or not, the book is the number one, you know, specific source of it. So what I'm getting at is, let's do the course. Let's do the personal coaching, but there needs to be a book too. So I think
we have one. Yeah, we have one almost done, actually. We've been working.
Okay, but make sure that it dovetails with what you're doing. Okay, like when you're breaking it in section 3 of my book, I have action exercises. Guess what they go to? They go to a mini course that goes with the book. Well, what does the mini course go to? Channel Jumpstart. So it's like everything kind of cycles into it. So I would definitely look at that.
That's good.
As the parameter.
Yeah.
And you won't know that immediately, and it's smart not to put the book out until you get some good case studies and say, look, this is what we did with this golfer. It's one of my students that I coach. When you say those things, then it's just like, oh, okay. He has coaching programs and whatever. Kind of leans it in. Does that make sense?
Great. Yeah, that's a really good. We've been trying to figure out how to, like, what to do with the book, because Ed's mostly written like the golf swing part of it, but like from a marketing standpoint, I've been kind of trying to figure out what to do. So that's really
what are you going to call the book?
I think Ed wants to call it How to Swing a Golf Club, because that's like his like thing. But We haven't decided on that one yet. So
that I think you need to focus in on 30 years, 30 years experience. Somehow it could be in your subtitle or whatever, whatever that may be. But when someone looks at the like a title, you got to bring curiosity and relatability. And they're like, okay, I already know how to swing a golf club. Why are you telling me this or whatever? So like, I'm not saying that it's a wrong assumption that you're trying to get them, but if it's more targeted, like here's how 90% of the people in golf, swing wrong.
You're speaking to me. That's what I want to figure out the more marketing concept. We haven't decided on it, but we were just still kind of
debating. There's a good swing sensei. How to swing like a master golfer. Like that's a freaking good title, man.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Dude, I would say, the golf swing sensei or something like that. But I like that. That's a really good. Look at that.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would be doing more than anything else is mapping out what you want it to become. I'm going to say another thing that I don't want you to focus a lot in on it, but I want you to be strategic on. Ed's older. We never know. Life is fragile. Things can happen. How do we have it exist without him? Mm-hmm. Right. And part of it is elevating people up. And I do love, having other people on the journey. They might not be the selling point to bring them in. Yeah. But there is a system without it. And one aspect is I just watched something with Dave Ramsey about him moving out of his organization.
Yeah, I've studied that really closely, what they're doing.
Yeah, and he focused in on what was Dave's revenue versus non-Dave revenue, and how does that thing? Because like his system never changed. Like he can always be a system, right? And they're coming in for that, but it's like, what are the other revenue on it? And so I need you to start thinking in your master plan what that is.
That's really good.
And have the specific pieces. So, i.e., certified, golf sensei instructors that are, third degree black belt, whatever you want to call them. I really don't care what it is, but it's like, here's the support staff that's coming in, and it will help you elevate it even higher.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's one of our big goals with the business is, this is a really fun business, but Ed really wants to leave a legacy with what he's done. He's taught for 30 plus years and impacted, thousands and thousands before this, and now millions of people since we've done YouTube and all these other platforms. And so that's one of our big business goals, is just to build it into a legacy business that even, when either he or I are no longer around, it still impacts a lot of people.
That's great. Okay. The last thing is you need to really focus in on products in your course, in your connection. What are golf sensei certified, products? What
like training aid type products, or what
training aid and the other.
Okay.
Because the thing, they're looking for trust.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. If they trust you, they're going to buy. If they buy and you can give them a deal that's even better, then that's what I look at is like not just the affiliate play, but it's like if you can get a deal or you can have your trusted products on the website. That's what I have
a page of Ed's favorite things, and we try to be really careful about we get hawked stuff to promote all the time, and we're very particular about literally only things that Ed uses personally, that he recommends to his students, that he's comfortable using himself, because some training aids will you can hurt yourself using it, and it's crazy. And so we're very particular about the things that we'll recommend to people.
But that should be content too. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, and this is really important, you don't have all your content strategy right, and you're going after. And I've learned this is you gotta have different modes of discoverability, and you're only hitting one right now, okay, which is your main video. That's the whole thing. And so I know that you'll laugh at this because I've had a love-hate relationship with YouTube on certain things. One's how they introduce different formats, but you got to get 2 other formats going. Every channel that has succeeded in what I call the trust triangle, and that's this new verbiage that you probably haven't heard of because I just developed it, rewriting the book.
Yeah.
But it's like when you really do it, it's like they have other formats. One is a live stream. That's a sense of community, right? And you're able to do that. So I want you to do at least 2 to 3 live streams on this channel this year. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've been really planning to do some, so that's good.
But I want you to really craft it to how to bring it in and do it in a unique way. And then 2, there's a lot of great tech out there that you can actually go live on the course, and it can be done uniquely, and you could produce it, offsite somewhere fairly easy and roll from there. And then the next one would be, and this is where you'll laugh a little bit, which is I need you to start doing shorts.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I was going to ask you about it, because we have our Instagram and TikTok and everything actually are doing well, but I've been so afraid to mess up the YouTube.
You're not going to mess it up. Okay. You're not going to mess it up. YouTube's done a great job at using it as a discoverability, and it doesn't impact the main content. It used to way back in the day when it was first introduced, but they're more mindful. They have a lot more data on it. And right now it's missed opportunities.
Yeah.
And so I need you to go back to look at your top performers on TikTok, your top performers on IG, and test them out on this one.
Yeah.
Because realistically, that is part of the entry level. So right now you're getting new viewership, but we need momentum.
Yes.
We need people going to it. And then even if it's short form video, guess what's going to happen? If they're engaging with your content, regardless of what it is, you have a higher probability of you showing up when you upload a video on your long form. It's just that way, especially if it's the same type of video structure. You understand what we're talking to there, and that's that keyword structure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
frequently for shorts, do you think would make sense for, because we already have like probably hundreds of short form content we've made. So I mean, like we could start doing that right away. I just don't know how much what cadence.
I would do 2 short forms a week if it was me on your off, like space them out. I wouldn't notify subscribers on it either.
Yeah, like make it so it doesn't go to subscribers.
Yeah. But I would do that, and then 2, make sure that they are keyword specific. Okay. So it's your same type of content that your long form videos are working, because you want to be able to bridge that gap between the 2.
Yeah. That's my only fear I've had with this. I didn't want to create a new shorts audience that didn't want to watch our long form, since the long forms have been doing well. So
yeah, but I think that it's not about the competition. So the younger age is more about the competition, and then the skill. You're not doing that. You're just doing, here's your biggest mistakes, and then your correction. So you're going to appeal to, but basically, I would say older millennials on up. And if you really look at your channel, you really skew high for 65 plus.
Yeah,
great. You own that audience. We need to go down to the ones that are starting to golf right now, which is millennials.
Yeah.
So the millennials, and if you can get Gen Xers, then you're set.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's exciting. I'm excited to get going with those, because I've been really wanting to, but I feel like we've had good momentum, so I don't want to.
But one other thing I want you to do is I want you just to put out an offer of, and this is like sometime this year, that is not related to a course, but it's just more golf with Ed for a weekend. I just want you to do that once.
So we have a scramble we're hosting this summer. So we're hosting our first scramble. We're gonna have a couple hundred people hopefully come up.
Okay. Well, then you're doing exactly what I want. And so what are you gonna do with that scramble?
So it's in July, and we already have it booked. So we just need to fill up start getting people to sign up for it, which we've teased it a couple of times. So now we're kind of ready to start.
Can I tell you what we do?
Yeah, please.
So we have an event coming up, similar to what I hate the new Chrome. It just bothers me. It literally does. I hate it so bad. Give me 1 second. I'm opening a new window and I drag it over and it drags it into the
Oh,
window.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that
I hate
that's
that.
getting me too. I don't like it either.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so I don't think you need to do it this time, but I want you to start thinking ahead on this, okay? So this right here is an event that we put on every year. And let me pull this up real quick. Let me hit this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this right here is an event we put on every year.
Yes, yeah.
And it's just coming up. And look at how many people we have coming. And I mean, it's the biggest event of its type in Utah, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
And what's cool about it is fans can come and just be a part of it, and they can watch their favorite YouTuber. But when you meet the competitors, look, it's a huge collaboration. Look at how many channels are coming.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they're promoting it, and it's just like awesome, right? The thing that we do, and just so that you have context of it, is we live stream it all. Like we literally live stream it all. So the YouTube audience gets to see it too. It's one of the bigger YouTube events, on
YouTube. Probably live stream our scramble.
Now you're thinking, right?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So I would try to figure out how to do that. And maybe it's not this one, but if it's the scramble and you're live streaming elements of it and there's a clear winner of it, and are you calling it the Sensei Cup or what are we calling it?
We need a name for it. We haven't figured out
literally the Sensei Cup, like I would golf Sensei Cup or whatever.
I like that. Yeah.
It just elevates it. And then two, they don't need to because you're gonna get to a level where they can't all golf in it, but they can come do a weekend, right?
Yeah.
So they can treat it like the Masters or whatever, but it's just whatever, right?
Yeah.
So like you can literally lean that into it, and honestly, it's awesome. We do this quite a bit. We have a VIP party. We can bring people in. We actually stream it where you don't miss a moment. It goes into our app. People are paying for that. We also do it free on YouTube. And that's the the whole thing when we really break it down. And then so this is a model. This is our 4th year doing this event, and this is the first year that we're doing another event in the fall. So we feel like we can do 3 events, and that's kind of what we're leaning towards. And so this year we're gonna do 2. We'll add a third event in 2027. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really exciting. I think we could definitely do some of the things that you're talking about. That'd be awesome.
But it's more about patterning the business aspect of it. If you look at the sponsors that are coming in on this one, I mean, we're doing giveaways. Like our giveaway is about $46,000.
Wow.
And so they're giving away a razor on it. It's just amazing.
I was thinking about that. We have a lot of great relationships with all these training aid people. We could probably do like giveaway prizes for get your own like.
Well, no, everyone should get a bundle. Whoever pays for the thing, they should get some free stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing that you do.
Yep.
Not even close second. So like, I don't care if it starts with the sleeve of balls. It needs to be something.
Yeah.
And then you build from there. But if it's like, oh, you get this plus this, plus you get to hang out. It's great.
Yeah.
I would
some of the higher end stuff like the $1,000 like golf sensor that people can have.
Exactly.
Think of everyone one of those, but like we could probably give away like a bundle of them to like as
exactly. So, but make it more about the experience, right? And that's what a lot of just treat it like a regular tournament that you do. Okay, there's the play that's going to do it, and it's a scramble, and it's going to be fun, it's going to be fast, it's going to be engaging, but it's about the food and the fun, and so you get a good food element that's there, and then it's about hey, here's what you get because you're a part of the tournament. Oh my gosh. And then literally give sponsorship for the tournament. That's huge money that can come in to get the right type of people. And then it elevates it if it's on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you get sponsorship to pay for the visibility, then it's a live stream every year that you do, or twice a year or 3 times a year when you do this. So
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm really excited about that.
okay, man, I'm telling you, I truly do believe that you can 10x the revenue by what you're currently doing, plus starting to put your online training available, and then having an event type ecosystem. And ultimately, it's more mapping it out what you want it to look like. And so this is what I always do: is I do a 5-year plan of what I want to look like, and then I do 3-year goals. Okay, what can we do in 3 years? Where do we need to be at, right? And then just kind of reverse engineer from there, because I found that if you have the vision of 5 years and you're activating 3 years, you're going to see it really elevate. So what I'd love to see is, like, what's the exit strategy for Ed in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you get to that point? Where if something happened or whatever, what does that actually look like? Okay, can we actually break this down? Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so lastly, and this is an important one, you've gone through Channel Jumpstart, you've come to VidSummit, you've done this. What people are on watching this? What should people do this year to really elevate their YouTube game when it comes to the business side of YouTube?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. So things that come to mind. So obviously, growing your channel is where it all starts from, right? That gives you the opportunity to do something. I think that this has been my dream for years. I remember you mentioned something like AdSense should just be a drop in the bucket, and I've been trying to build that out for a while now, and that's kind of been something I've been really working on. But I feel like one of the things that people underappreciate on YouTube is people get excited about the views and that AdSense, and that's all great. The people that you meet through, like, if you open it up so that you can actually interact with the people directly, whether that's in person or online, is incredible. Like, we have a business opportunity with, like, a guy who may be making some sort of like a training product that we're working with, and he's someone Ed and I went and had we hung out at his house and played golf with them, and that's like a whole nother business that could come from this. And it's just, you just don't know what opportunities are out there until you or open yourself up to it. But the first step in that is making a really valuable channel that people appreciate and that they enjoy watching. And I think that there's so much to that.
Yeah, and I think too, it's more about taking a viewer to a fan, and then from a fan to a community, and then leveraging the community, because the golf community already exists, right?
Yeah.
But what about your community within the golf community? What does that represent?
Yeah.
And so the more that you elevate the viewership, you're going to get more fans. If you can get that conversion, and that's where you've been weak, is getting that conversion from fans to community. And you really need to lean in on that, because once that's established, boom. Okay, great. Well, a good way to do community is do coaching, put coaching in group setting, right? Yeah. And then also doing your own tournaments. Okay, you're doing that this year too. So it's like you're literally elevating that, but it needs to be more visible.
Yeah.
So I would strongly encourage you to try to figure out how to live stream it. And it might cost you a little bit, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end, especially if you can get a sponsor to pay for it. Because you're like, hey, we'll make you the title sponsor of the games or the tournament. And it'll be, broadcasted on YouTube. Okay, great. All you got to do is take care of that. That's awesome. So,
that's cool.
Well, all right. Well, I am super excited for you. A lot to do. I think there's a lot that you need to process of what we discussed.
I watched it 10 times over.
But honestly, thank you so much for jumping on.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate it.
I hope it's inspiring for people, because YouTube has really changed my life in many different ways. And it's just, I remember when I first met you 7 years ago, I just was getting my gaming thing started, and that turned into tons of cool opportunities. And now this is as well. So,
yeah. Well, I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for watching. Really excited for this year. Got a lot of great things that is coming on. Got the book that will be coming out this year. I'm just in the final stages. I just actually got done with the cover. It's going to be killer. It's killer on it. And then two, it is a full rewrite of section 2 and section 3. And we're on the tail end of that. And then if you're interested in working with me, go ahead and look in the description below. We actually have a group coaching called Channel Jumpstart. Highly, highly recommend that you get involved with that. There's so much that we do to help you be successful on YouTube. So guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.